That shit sucked. Let's try it again. I want to do it. I don't care. Other things. Yo, ¿cómo están? Well done, twos here with Salty. Of course, having technical difficulties like Black Dragon. I think he screwed me, man. My computer is slow as shit today. I don't even know what's going on. So, of course, I got Salty, the show Salty and Sprinkles. I'm guessing Sprinkles is your wife, right?
Exactly. Yeah, she's right here. She's working. We just got done working on the pool, so she's like, I'm not getting in front of the camera.
Oh, come on. Flip it around. No, so hopefully we get some guys on there. I see people anonymous and Smitty and everybody. Of course, Smitty's going to have to be on there.
Yeah.
So as many people know, this show is called The Man Behind the Patch. And I try to do, we don't have to talk about full MC stuff in general. I like to get to know the people, the person himself behind the camera. A lot of people see, that you're getting a little more popular, right? Your channel's growing. And it's good to get to know you as a person, your background, what got you started there with everything. So normally I like asking people, like, where are you from originally, though?
Man, I was born in Oklahoma, kind of grew up in Houston, moved to Ohio. Don't recommend that. When I was in high school. And when I graduated high school, I just didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. So I joined the military. And 4 years of that, and I was like, definitely don't want to do this anymore. But I did know I wanted to help people. So I went into nursing. I actually got my bachelor's in nursing, worked in a level 1 trauma, worked in ICU, actually did life flight for 3 years. And this whole time I'd been riding motorcycles since I was 16. And I just knew that I was like, man, I want to do something to help people and better the life that, I leave behind for people younger than me. So, so went into nursing. I'm in the cath lab now. So I'm a manager, believe it or not. All my friends are like, can't believe you manage people. That's But that's what I've been doing that too. So that's my history in a nutshell. So lots of experience dealing with death and dying, and lots of crazy stuff, lots of cool stuff too. And so that's what getting into the motorcycle world. I knew I wanted to get into a club that was meaningful, had a good mission statement. So that's what. Fast forward to 2021, and that's what I've been doing for like the last 7 years.
And then the MC you're in, it is healthcare MC, right?
Yeah. So everyone in there's either first responder trained, they're nurses, they're doctors, they're EMTs, paramedics, respiratory therapists. It's hodgepodge of all kinds of people that want to come together to be able to ride for therapy, ride for camaraderie, and blow off some steam, have some fun. And like I said, our chapter mission statement is for PTSD. And it's something that's real special to us because so you work in the healthcare field, but every time I start talking about PTSD, they're like, oh yeah, man, that's super cool. I'm glad you guys are doing that for the veterans. And I'm like, I'm glad I kept it general because that's everyone goes right to the veterans thing. And I'm like, they got tons of resources. But when you talk about PTSD and like healthcare, everyone's like, yeah, but I mean, don't you guys deal with that every day? I'm like, yeah, that's why there's so many people out there just hemorrhaging and dependency problems and suicide. And it's like every place I've ever worked, I've worked in like 3 different states. They're like, oh yeah, that doctor, he killed himself, and no one ever, bats an eye about it. Oh, that nurse is in rehab because she's on, addicted to all kinds of drugs, and it's all stress driven and casualty driven. And so it's kind of special in my heart that every year we're going to be doing an event that we raise money for a PTSD service dog, and so that's what we did last year. We did this escorted ride, and we gave away this. What was it? A poodle Labrador thing? What was it? Poodle, right? Yeah. So we gave away like this
Labradoodle.
And sure enough, we gave it to a paramedic that suffered from PTSD from losses in her life and the job stress and everything. So it was real heartfelt, man. And I want to do it. I want to be able to grow it every year to go more and more and more, and be able to donate more dogs. So I'm a dog lover. That's probably, you heard my dog shaking in the background. But,
oh yeah, I mean, I love dogs. I wanted to start a MC just about dogs,
Yeah.
like dog abusers. And I actually was thinking about that for years, but I just never pulled the trigger about doing that. Or I don't know if there's an organization near me that does that. Haven't really looked into it too much. But yeah, interesting about PTSD. I was trying to read a research that was showing there's a lot of single motorcycle fatalities of the rider. There's no rhyme or reason. People are starting to think that the depression of, and they're like hauling ass, and it's like a way to go out. And so there's actually research on that, and there's actually a high number of accidents that they're contributing to people that might have issues like suicidal due to PTSD on their bikes. Swim therapy, but that's probably their favorite time to go out, but it's the thing that makes them happy to a point. But it's just huge also for bikers itself. So
yeah, it's crazy.
Do you see, or is it messing you up? Because I have a delay on my end, so I don't know if you do well or what. So
yeah, it's a pretty good delay right now.
Yeah.
Am I coming through clear?
You come through clear. I think it's my Wi-Fi is like really, 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 really messed up right now. So I don't know. Yeah, the sound is going in and out, and everything. It's something to do with my Wi-Fi. Normally good. I don't know if it's in my master something tipped over. So
it's coming in okay.
This is the first time I had issues logging. I might just have to chill for a little bit, but let's see. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, even my old lady's texting me. And my old lady's telling me how I'm freezing all over the screen and shit. So
that's all
let
good.
me know. I mean, we'll continue, but like PTSD, and it's a big thing actually in the community. PTSD and depression, and actually how it helps, and all the organizations are doing a lot for it. It's it's badass. What made you for the MC though? Were you thinking of healthcare, or is that something you kind of heard first, or did you think about other MCs first before that?
Yeah, well, I hung around for a bunch of different MCs and hung around different other clubs, and I was actually in an RC before this. It was a healthcare club, and it just wasn't what was advertised. And I put a lot of hard work into it, a lot of dedication, blood, sweat, and tears, and trying to get it to what I think would be a good standard. And it just did not pan out. And that's what the local club here in Houston, the EMS Angels Motorcycle Club, were like, dude, like we got everything that you're asking for your the club you're with. And so I ended up leaving the RC and didn't do anything for a while. So EMS Angels MC is just one of those missions that I really, really feel passionate about. And like the other club that's here, they do something for the children and Christmas. They do the toy run and the Stuff the Bear thing. And so like we definitely have two different chapters here locally that do two different things. And I think it's pretty badass. But no, it was one of those things that, like cool. We like to run
cool.
miles. What's that?
No, sorry, just the delay is messing me up. Like I'm trying to, it's kind of messing up with the delay still. It's like, yeah, I do. Anonymous is laughing because this is my gym actually, and I do have Wi-Fi in the house, but I have a mesh, and normally it works fantastic. But the problem is I lost one of the meshes from inside the house, the power better. So either way, I don't know. So my Wi-Fi is really low right now.
No, that's all good. But now, like our chapter, like we ride a lot of miles, and that's one of the things I always talk about is commitment, dedication, and integrity. Like if you're not committed to the chapter, if you're not committed, and you're not dedicated, and you don't have integrity, like it's like one of those processes that we weed people out, through the hang around and prospect period. But I just feel like if you have those three things, and you should be like nice and easy to deal with, and like integrity is a huge thing for me. Doing the right thing when no one's looking. If you have that practice in your life, it can get you through a lot of different situations, especially club, professional, personal. So,
yeah, no, I mean, and that's huge though. But so, do people look at you since you're a healthcare MC, or do they look down upon you, up upon you? I mean, how's the reaction with other MCs or bigger MCs?
Well, we go to a lot of other bigger MCs and we support their functions. And like I said, we were kind of in a weird situation being an EMS first responder club because without saying too much about negatively about other clubs, like a lot of the other clubs don't have like standards and a lot of different things that they're supposed to go through. They skip a lot of steps, and it's just being exposed to other clubs. Like, so we're like kind of in the middle. It's like, we don't want to go bar hopping and we don't want to like, get all jacked up and wreck our bikes. And so we like to ride our bikes a lot, but it's like we're stuck in between kind of like two worlds because there's, a world that we don't really associate with because of fuckery and not wanting to deal with that kind of shit. And then, there's like we go to other events that we support. But as far as the EMS thing, man, like we're neutral. We just support whoever supports us. And, that's what we're all about.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause there's more things too. I mean, there's certificates and licenses and stuff involved with people in healthcare, obviously. So, and with the way people profile, cops profile businesses, it could technically affect anyone who has certificates or licenses too.
Yeah, that's what was actually like around 2015. Something happened in Texas, and it was like, it was something we were going to start going to, and then as a club, like we came together and we're like, dude, if we were going to be at that, establishment gathering, like that would ruin everyone's careers, everyone's life, because like that's when you're in healthcare, that's all you know how to do. Like I was in the military and I was trained as a diesel mechanic, but I'm almost 40 now and I haven't touched a wrench to a diesel mechanic, an engine in 15 years. So like I could go sweep the floors making $6 an hour or whatever, and sorry guys if something happened like that. But yeah, so it's a situation where it's kind of like a balancing act as far as making sure you're doing the right thing in the MC world and following as much protocols as you can while protecting your license and protecting healthcare stuff that you got going on, because your job, family always comes first. A wise man once, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, your family comes first, then your job, because you got to have that to promote, and then the club comes third. But if you line them up just right, you should get them all right in line. With your club becoming your family, 2 out of the 3 just becomes a mesh. So all you got to really do is just worry about your job, because our chapter, man, we are like a family. We've been together for like 7 years, and we go to each other's birthdays. We go to their anniversary stuff. Like one of our members, their anniversary is on the Lone Star weekend. So they're like, yeah, we'd rather be with you guys throughout the whole weekend for our anniversary, because you guys are like family to us. So it's super important to me as far as building that mesh and that network within within our chapter.
Yeah, the stupid Wi-Fi is acting up again.
Can people hear us, or are we just talking and looking crazy?
I don't know. Let's see. Anyone? Can you guys still hear us? Because it suddenly froze, and I'm like, it's throwing me off today because it's pissing me off too. Because usually my Wi-Fi is like kick ass. So we'll see. But either or, you can hear me now, right?
I can hear you now, man. I'm catching up on the chat.
Yeah. No.
See.
Yeah, everybody said that they can hear us. So they can probably hear us as you and I probably being like, oh, off and stuff. But one of the things I was going to ask is it a co-ed club?
Yeah. So actually, it was one of those. Obviously the club's been established way before we joined it. It's been around a long time before me. But yeah, it's healthcare. When I was talking to one of my buddies, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's like 70-80% of healthcare is like women, right? And we want to promote this thing where you can come together and like knock your demons out. So yeah, we do have women in the club that are full patches, and there's a couple of clubs around here that are healthcare and like LE, and they're like, yeah, we don't let women. I don't know why you don't let women in your club. I'm like, well, don't you have like first responders and cops that are females that ride motorcycles? Like, what do you tell them? You just tell them, sorry, go deal with somebody else, and they're like, yeah, that's pretty much what we do.
Yeah, they pretty much is like go to the female club or something, and that's about it. Because some clubs don't care about the women itself. I mean, that's a mind frame that some clubs have.
Yeah,
they'll treat the women perfectly, but when it comes to the MC part, they have no say in it. No, they don't want any connection with it.
Yeah, so that's one of the big things about in Texas. There are some clubs that some older clubs that have been around for a long time that have females and males in it. So I ensure like everything I teach, like the dudes about, how to handle yourself and what to say, what not to say, like how to introduce yourself and all that. Like all of our females know it too, just because there's been a few times where, we're around a couple of the clubs here, and there's female patch members, officers and stuff, and I'm like, you better handle your shit, man. I taught you. You better, you've been around everybody, so you better know.
And it's not like women don't get in fuckery either, so it's not.
Oh man, yeah, women are drama.
Sprinkles is drama. Yeah, no, I mean that's actually cool, and I bet it makes a good relationship with your club that a lot of couples, husband and wives, can be in the club together, and it doesn't separate the family too much, and they kind of endure everything together, ride together, so you do get that family feel too. Yeah. So for some people, it may work out, because that's one of the biggest things. I see a lot of issues when you have your old lady that loves to ride, but there's a lot of clubs that this ride you can ride, or you can't be here for some reason. But at least it sounds like in your club, it's like whoever's in the club, female, male, wife or husband, you guys ride together. It's a family thing. So
yeah, everyone's on their own motorcycle, so we all ride together. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then I know your background too. Going back, you played football, you said, right?
Yep. Yeah, I played football my whole life, so
we got to see you tackle Smitty, him dressed up as a wrestler, and you just tackle him.
It's funny. We've been, my wife's all the time like, you guys are attached to the hip now. It's sickening, and but we have people now messaging us like, dude, we got this idea for this intro. Like, you should do this, this, and this. And next thing you know, I got Smitty text me. He's like, hey, did somebody hit you up about an intro? I'm like, no, but this person did about hit me up on intro ideas. And I was like, I don't think we're going to run out of intro ideas for at least 6 months, just based on some of our subscribers and followers, just on their ideas. So I got a couple of good ones coming up that I think is going to be fun. Some of them actually involve sprinkles. So
that'll be good.
Doesn't even know about it.
That's the best one. Just surprise her. Throw her in there not knowing it's part of it. Then next you know, she watches the show and she's on there. So yeah. And then growing up with you said you were in the Coast Guard, right?
Yeah, man. I like I said, I actually went to the recruiter before 9/11 happened. I graduated before that. And I was actually looking at going into the Marines, and I was like, verbally like, yeah, I think this is going to be a good fit. And something happened, and the recruiter really, really made me mad. And so I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with this guy anymore. And my buddy was like, I have a friend that's in the Coast Guard. And I was like, dude, I don't want to be a fucking lifeguard. Like, that sounds awful. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm not. I was like, that just sounds like a pussy ass. Like, but
if you don't know about Coast Guard, you think like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So like,
it's like a lifeguard or something.
I went across the hall and I talked to the Coast Guard recruiter, and they showed me all these cool jobs, like searching. Like, I did search and rescue for the majority of my service. So it was like small boat.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's bad.
Yeah.
I like the search and rescue.
So small boat operations, like high speed shit, and just going and helping distressed vessels. And so that was pretty much 10 years of my life. I did 4 years active, and I did it while I was in college reserves, and I was on the Great Lakes. So I did like ice rescue and stuff. And like, you can ask my wife, I am like such a pussy when it comes to cold water now. Like, I cannot get in cold. Like, it can be like 80 degrees. I'm like, peace, I'm out. Like, nope. Because I was jumping in like 30-degree waters up there, and I think it actually like did something to my nerves. I cannot do cold water like at all. Like, it hurts. It was miserable. But yeah, I did that for like 6 years up in Ohio. So that was awful. Like 5 years.
That's not even a play. I mean, Coast Guard, of course, I'm from Florida, so I'm used to like Miami, Clearwater Beach. And you see the shows and movies of the guys out in Maine or something, Alaska, which is fucking crazy. Is that where Salty obviously came from? I'm just throwing out. No shit. From the salty seamen, I always say.
Yeah, it was like kind of like a fusion of like my previous life and like what I did when I was telling you about the RC that I left. I went fucking ape shit on them. The national. I don't want to talk too much about it, but yeah. So like when
your attitude is salty.
Yeah, so I'm pretty like fun and loving and happy, and most of the time like pretty fun. But I can get medieval pissed, and my wife, I can get a temper sometimes. So that's what they're like. Yo, when you get mad, like, you're salty as fuck. So that's what.
Oh, the AF. Yeah. It's early when you're filming. So I just saw Salty and I saw some part, but I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah,
And Sprinkles,
Salty.
where did Sprinkles come from?
So she started. She's laughing right now. She started riding what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, and you know, we live in Houston, so we get those tropical climate rains like out of nowhere. But like, I mean, she literally rode for a year straight, and I don't think she probably was batting 800. Like she had 8 out of 10 times we would ride, it would pour. Not just like, I mean, her road name should be Downpour, but I just sounded too crazy. So it was one of those things that when she came into the club, we're like, dude, like even now, like, anytime we ride, like there'll be a 10% chance of rain. And sure enough, like we'll get some stupid cloud right above us and it just hammers us. We get completely soaked. So she has earned that. Now, even today, she still earns, like, you know, you never stop prospecting. She never stops earning her road name.
So did she always want to ride a motorcycle, or she just decided since with you? And
no, so interesting story. We dated in high school, and when I moved away, we were dating, and I moved to Ohio, where I got my first motorcycle. And like I said, I got my first motorcycle when I was 16, and been riding ever since. And we reunited 7 years ago. 7 years ago. See, she's like looking at me like, you know that number? But yeah, 7 years ago, man, I was living in Tulsa. I was riding that '09 Ultra Classic, and Facebook actually reunited us. And I started seeing more and more pictures of just her and like her kids. And I was like, man, I don't see a picture of a dude in there anymore. I'm going to hit her up. So I messaged her, and sure enough, she's like, yeah, I got divorced like a year ago. And, you know, I've just been living this life. I was like, I'm going to come see you. And we've been like ever since then. So for like what, 4 or 5 months, 6 months, I just rode back and forth because I was working Life Flight at the time. So I'd do like, I'd work 84 hours a week, and then I'd have like 9 days off. So I just get on the bike and ride from Tulsa to Houston and spend the time with her. And finally got transferred down here to a base in between Austin and Houston. And that's how I got started down in Houston, man. Reunited. But yeah, she never rode a motorcycle until I messaged her. So she actually, it was way before.
She was trying to look cool in front of you. That's why she wanted to.
Yeah. So she comes up to Oklahoma, and I was like, dude, I already have this ride planned, and we're going to Oklahoma City from Tulsa, and it was like 40 and raining, and she didn't bring any clothes. Like she had like a sweatshirt and some jeans. So we did that whole ride to and there back, and it was like it was probably one of the most miserable rides I've ever done. And so she's been a trooper ever since. Like she has her own bike, and she'll ride as many miles as all of us. So.
And then what made her join the MC? Like herself? Like she just wanted to.
The mission statement. Yeah, the helping other people. She's a way nicer person than me, so she's always about helping other people. And yeah, when we started doing this PTSD thing, and so she got, you know, her basic first responder and first aid trained, and because she works at NASA, so I always tell people she's a rocket scientist and that she's an astronaut. She gets so pissed at me, but yeah, I always tell people, yeah, my wife's an astronaut, and they're like, what? No, she just deals with the International Space Station stuff.
Yeah. No, I was actually making fun of. I was making fun of a guy, the lady's husband, and we're all having dinner, and he's a smart guy. And I made a stupid joke like, "What are you, a rocket scientist?" And the motherfucker was a rocket scientist for NASA. So it was just funny that I said that. I never met someone that never matches with someone actually being a rocket scientist. But do you ever get slack from other people about you having women in your club at all, being co-ed?
Not to our faces, at least. I mean, like I said, we show up to all the events and we converse with every one of the clubs, and like we never ever get any kind of shit about it. And I don't know, like I said, it's different in Texas versus Oklahoma. Like in Oklahoma, I didn't remember ever really seeing clubs that had females in it. You know, you come to Texas and there's a couple of clubs here that have been around for a long ass time. You know, and they got full patch women. So it's like,
you have Llama. You have Llama, who the president, chapter president, is a woman here in San Antonio. So
yeah,
there's some big clubs that are, you know, respected and that have women inside of it. So
yeah, I think it's. I mean, you know, it's cool that you see the women all roll up together and on their bikes, and it's you know, we represent by, you know, like I said, participating, riding. Like that's one of the big things is like I don't understand people that join clubs and organizations and then like never show back up or never ride their bikes. Like it blows my mind that why people want to try to get into an MC or an RC or anything, and then just never want to come. I'm like, or never want to ride their bikes. Like, to me, I'll never understand that ever.
No, I trust me. I see it a lot of times. You get someone that joins a club, they buy the shiny new bike, always want to get the Harley shiny bike, and they'll just ride it to the clubhouse or to mandatory events. But outside of any event or anything, they won't ride that bike at all. And it's a motorcycle club. It's it's a motorcycle club. That should be number one: motorcycles, and then family. And that's the whole thing. It's about motorcycle club. It's not about fighting. It's not about a gang. It's not about looking tough. It's not about everybody having Harleys. It's about people doing something everybody loves, a bike, right? It's like an aviation. I love planes. I like every fucking plane. I think it's cool. Every bike to me, I love every bike. I don't care if it's a Goldwing, Honda, or anything like that. I just like bikes in general. So, and I don't look down on anybody, because whatever someone can afford and that's their bike, it's just like our opinions that we like people respecting. I respect that that's the bike they like, and there's beauty in every bike in itself. So your channel, it's what made you pick do a YouTube channel? 'Cause I get that question all the time.
Yeah, so it's been 10 months since I started it, and I was on Facebook on a personal account, and I had Instagram, but it wasn't really active, and I was getting it was before the election. It was all this crazy stuff, like the COVID thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm deleting my Facebook. Like, I'm just deactivating it. I was like, man, what the hell am I going to do to cause we ride a lot and we do a lot of stuff that a lot of good memories that are made from, videos and photos. And as you can see by this live stream, I like to talk a lot. So I don't really ever go short on words. And so I had a GoPro that we had gotten for some, our Caribbean adventures. So I just started looking. I was like, man, I got a full face helmet. I got a motorcycle. I got, a lot of stuff that we do. Like if you look at our videos, it's just pretty much everything we do during the week or during the weekends. And, we always, a couple times a year, we go take motorcycle trips. Like on Friday, we're leaving. We're going to be going up to Oklahoma, over to Arkansas. We'll be riding Arkansas all weekend and then coming back on Sunday. But yeah, it was just, I wanted it for memory making and, maybe doing some reviews. I was like, I don't know if anybody would watch it. I have no idea. And first couple of videos I did, and I was like, hey, babe, I got 2 subscribers. This is awesome. I was super happy. There's somebody that actually, I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about tags. I had no clue about any of that. So, here we are 10 months later, and I'm coming in on, 2,000 subs, and that's just mind blowing to me.
And I put it toward, I keep talking about the community. And I think in other communities, I think it's harder to get subscribers. But look at everybody in the comment section. Everybody's like motor vloggers, and everybody supports each other. They put everybody else's channels out there. The more that they interact with our channels, the more the algorithm kind of kicks it up, so then other people see it. And and I talk highly about the community to all the MC guys I talk to, saying, no, for a community, they stick together to a point and try to support each other. Unless someone's an asshole, I guess that they might not. I don't know. But
yeah, no, that's the motovlog community is it's crazy, because I've met some awesome people. Like I said, there's some people on here that I've met through just YouTube that are really good friends of mine now. And shit, now we've got Smitty as a hang around to the club, and he lives 20 minutes from me, and we're really good friends now. But I've met some assholes too, just like in real life. You can tell they message you and you're just like, that dude's a user and he doesn't want anything but to use people. And you can just tell, you can see right through people. And so, yeah, it's just like real life. You gotta filter the bullshit through the real stuff.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, I mean, that's one thing. And then where do you, because I like your motovlog in general. The way you do is it's actual real vlog, right? What you guys do, your trips. And that's what I'm going to start getting into more, because I actually had a lot of footage. My problem is I had a lot of video, and it was a lot of MC related video, a lot of rides that I couldn't share the footage, right? Because I had people's cut. I didn't get permission. There's other clubs in there, and it became like a big political issue. So I just never posted. And there are some badass videos with some great clubs. And but I do have some clubs that tell me, it's okay to record them on the ride or something. So I have some rides coming up hopefully in the near future. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. But that's actually not, because people can follow you. It's almost like they get to know you. They feel like they're part of you. the more you do that. So you see a lot of successful vloggers and other content. There, it's like the wake up, see them make breakfast and shit, their day to work, and people feel attached to that. So it's something similar in your aspect, the way showing them this is what we do, in general. And it's good for people that can talk. So if you talk, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what, I mean, yeah, I think that's the big thing about motovlogging is, having somewhat of a personality and have something to, show people, have experiences. Like my big thing is like, I know like when we get together and we all ride together and I, kind of like show that, like those videos do a little bit better. Like our motorcycle trip videos, when you have multiple bikes on the, the thumbnail, those seem to get clicked on pretty good. But that was another thing when I started the motovlog, everyone's like, you're going to film the club stuff. And I'm like, not meetings and not like, not club business stuff, but like, if we're going to go for a ride, like, why not? And, I wasn't going to hide that I was in a club. And there's not a lot of, EMS Angel chapters that do a lot of social media. Like there's tons of chapters out there, but like you don't, if you go look for it, you're like, yeah, there's no chapters here, but there really are, there's just like a lot of old school people that they don't put anything on social media. So I was like, yeah, this is a good opportunity to be like a little PR stuff too for a good organization that does good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny about that because I always get that all the time. All the new age MCs that post things on social media, but I'm not kidding. On Facebook itself, I see some old school cats on some big MCs always posting pictures, videos of rides. And then they're the same ones that'll talk bad about a YouTuber or something, but they're posting stuff out there already. Sometimes a little too much information for them probably. But it's technology now. Most people are using social media. Most people know how to use a phone, text message, Facebook. I mean, Facebook is not to say it's for older people now, but I think it's on. Facebook is not like the young crowd anymore, right? Of course, TikTok is all ages, but I think the young crowd likes TikTok.
I'm trying to cover up my gray that I've developed over the last couple of years.
Well, I got grays everywhere here, but of course it looks dark here. Sometimes I do dye my beard because I got patches.
Yep.
That'll be my nickname, maybe Patches, though. Yeah, so your channel, like I said, we're going to have you on the roundtable this Sunday. I know you guys are doing a trip, so that'll be pretty cool. And I think there's going to be someone else. There's going to be a discussion. I forgot what the topic was, but there's going to be cool topics, and you can talk there. It's not going to be anything out of the ordinary, probably. It might be. So I know you're excited to go on there too, and it's been a good thing to have that roundtable and have Hollywood, Black Dragon, because we have they're not motovloggers, but they're YouTube content creators, and it's nice having them all get together and do actually what motovloggers have been doing for a while, right? A lot of motovloggers always have like something table and live videos like what I'm doing now and talking to other, but it's the first time actually that an MC content creators are getting together and to make live videos like that. So yeah, it's something pretty big that I really like. So, and I just had a question for your MC itself. Do you see it growing anymore? Like, I know there's always set numbers of people, but do you have people that have interest in it? Like people that you work with or?
We have a couple guys that ride at the hospital I work at, and they've inquired about it a little bit. And when it's funny, like most healthcare people, when they find out, I'm like, yeah, like it's like I get messages. Like I did a video on the motorcycle club commitment thing, and I had a couple of people that like have ridden with me and that are friends that are not affiliated with the club. They like message me. They're like, I mean, is it like that hard to get into your club? Like, I mean, you seem like a pretty laid back guy. I'm like, yeah, like there's a lengthy process. I was like, that's like not just like all these people that if they're in healthcare, they're like, well, I'm already a nurse and I'm already a paramedic, or I'm already got this license. Like I should be allowed to come into your club because I'm already certified. So that should be good enough, right? I'm like, no, like the way I look at it is like motorcycles is an inherently dangerous activity as it is. Like I don't know you. Like I ride with my wife. Like my club is my family. Like I'm not gonna just like have you come and fuck up our whole world. Like physically and mentally. And if you're not a good person, like I don't want that around my family because we do a lot of family stuff together. So when they find out that you like shit, you actually have to hang around, you actually have to prospect, they're like, I don't want to do that. Like I just want to go ride with people. I'm like, well, let's go ride with people then. Like that if you don't want to do all that stuff and make you're a good person and make sure make sure we're good people. Like we could be pieces of shit too. You wouldn't know about that unless you hung around and prospected. So it's a two-way street for us. Make sure that everyone, jives together.
Yeah. So I mean that's always a big thing because even in regular MCs, that's why you see a lot of new MCs coming out because a lot of guys don't want to prospect and they rather start. And it's not easy starting a chapter. Don't get me wrong. People think, oh, they started a chapter, a real chapter that gets started brand new, like club, let's say, and they actually last over 5-6 years. It's a lot of work. I think it's harder than prospecting to actually start a club from scratch, get the resistance from any big clubs, pushing through and getting all the okays and permissions and stuff and actually establishing a club. That's pretty hard to do, but that's a small percentage actually do it the correct way and last that long. Majority of people just want to put slap patches on, look tough, just go up to the biker bar to an event, and that's it. And they don't even do anything else. You can see them can't even move their bike around the parking lot well. You know, I mean, you really don't really ride much. So it's from all aspects of MCs. A lot of people are not wanting to prospect, and I don't care if there's always should be a minimum requirement, but there shouldn't be like if someone that like I think we had this conversation. If they're pretty experienced and they're already there close to a year, 9 months, 10 months, a year, there's some places that are like no mandatory 2 years. I don't know. Let's just say that, but the guy's ready. Yeah. I mean, I guess is at a certain point there's always like no, he's ready, and it's a vote. And then there's some people that are going to last 2 to 3 years. Yeah. Or look at Black Dragon, right? He was 5 years as a like I don't know if you know that.
5 years.
He prospered for 5 years.
That's bad. That's crazy. That's dedication.
Yeah, no, because he was not easy to deal with. Apparently, he says it himself. He was not easy to deal with, but he dedicated, and no one ever thought he would be a national president. He was a national president for that club for a long time. Yeah. So you never know. And I tell you, as a prospect, you never know who he may be, an officer, a national in the future. So that's where we're treating prospects with respect, just like a family member, right? Yeah. You're still going to be kind of hard on them on certain things and protocol, but you don't want to be too hard that they kind of hate you the whole time. And then you expect them to really love you when they patch in, right? Oh, you're my brother now. Well, fuck you, man. You're a fucking asshole the whole time.
Treating me like a shithead for a year. I'm not gonna lie. You'll have some feelings for that.
And then a lot of people just stay in there to get that patch and not really care about the chapter.
Yeah.
They just want that patch. So.
I've seen that too. As far as people do the steps and they do like I was talking. Actually, I don't know. We were like talking about. There was one dude, man. Like, and I have like a kind of a crazy judge of character. Like I can. It's kind of one of my uncanny abilities. I can pretty much see if someone's a piece of shit pretty quick. Like I have a good judge of character. There was this one dude, man. He slipped through my fingers. He slipped through like all the, the whole chapter. Like we were all like, this is him. He's an ABC guy. Like dude, the stuff that this guy pulled on us, it was amazing. I was like, I'm impressed. Like I can't even be like, that guy was a magician on how I think he was like a true, legit psychological, like sociopath. And I was like, I just did not. It was insane. But yeah, that's the big part is just, being yourself, like having that integrity. And that's my biggest thing. I always try to drive home, man. I'm like, if you're going to be around us, I want you to do the right thing, even when we're not looking, even when, because I tell people this all the time. I'm like, someone's going to be looking. Like you're out there by yourself and you're on, you think you're just riding by yourself. Like you don't know who's in the car. You don't know who's at that restaurant. Like, people aren't wearing patches all the time. So if you act like an asshole or you're doing something stupid, just because there's not bikes around doesn't mean you're not going to get, labeled. And
and labels, that's the huge thing. It doesn't have to be your club, right? Any other biker that wearing a cut with patches, a regular civilian looking at him, he's a biker. They're going to judge him. Anybody from your club is going to be judged by that person too. So, I mean, Hell's on Two Wheels said, like, you teach your prospects how you want the future of the club to be. And of course, that's a true statement. But also, if you just treat it, it's basic, right? Treat them with respect. You got to treat them. I'll still treat everybody with respect, almost like a brother to a point, right? Because they're not technically brother, but I'll show them so much love that they want to be part of that. Yeah. They want to be part of that. They'll work hard. They want to ride. They want to be with you guys. And then when they patch in, they actually truly are happy that they're patching in with that club. I don't want to be that asshole that is just treating the person like shit. And no matter what he does, it's make him look like he's doing everything wrong. So then later on, like he resents me. And then when he becomes president, I'm fucked,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what.
So
when in the hospital world, I always try to say, I'm a manager now, but like when I was not a manager, I had people that were like, hey man, always be nice to your coworkers because you never know who's going to be the manager. And like if you think that piece of shit that's lazy as hell is not going to be a manager, that's not how the world works. Like somehow those people get promoted a lot. And I just told myself I'm a manager, but that wasn't me. But no, like you never know who you're going to be working for. Wait, I'm a manager. No, but like you'll never know who you're going to be working for. So you need to always treat people with respect and treat them, treat them as like you'd want to be treated yourself. And like always think like, hey, this, like in the club world, yeah, that dude could be the president one day because he has every opportunity as everybody else here, just getting voted in. So
yeah, I had somebody from actually he's on YouTube and he's a 1%er that every prospect hang around, he'll take him to his house and he see what his dog reaction is and how he treats his dog.
Yeah,
and if he treats his dog with love and the dog likes him, then he'll start talking to him more. He likes to say, like, if you treat a dog like shit, like me, if you don't like dogs, something's wrong with you. Yeah, that's me personally.
That's how
I'm
I feel.
a big dog fan. But I mean, so that's one of his things. He'll go to the house, his dogs will go see it, and he'll just pay attention to how the guy treats his dogs. And if he loves on the dogs naturally and the dogs like him, or is he like just pushing the dog away and not caring that the dog is trying to love on him or something. So
yeah,
it's pretty interesting how what people do, but yeah, that's the whole history. So what's your outlook for your channel? Like, what do you want to get out of your channel? Like, is there an end goal, or just what's your plans for the future?
My plans for the future is, like I said, I just moved to 2 days a week. I do like a Tuesday, like a moto mumbling, where I just kind of talk about what's on my mind and what's been going good, been going bad, like and then Thursdays are usually like what me and Sprinkles and the club are doing, or if we're like traveling, if we're book all the adventures or whatever. I kind of want to keep doing that. We actually have some videos coming up of Sprinkles doing her own maintenance and upgrades. We got shocks, some crash bars. She did her own oil change. So we filmed all that. So I got a little garage pieces here and there just for fun. And actually one of my videos that I did, we did the fairing upgrade on her bobber. And it's like one of the most popular ones out of all of them. I'm like, I think Setzer Pendants was like, dude, this video came up and it said, Scout Bobber fairing install. He's like, look cool. So I clicked on it. Dude doesn't even own an Indian. I don't know why he was watching it. I still think he's creepy, but don't tell him. But he was like, dude, two regular people in the garage messing around, having fun, upgrading stuff. And he's like, I can just see through like your personality was cool. He's like, I knew you were in Houston, so I live in San Antonio, and I hit subscribe, and I've been watching ever since. We actually have been met up a bunch. We chat pretty much every day, but that's one of my biggest things is not being fake, man. Being yourself, like in the real world versus YouTube, because like everybody that we've ever met, they're like, dude, you're like the same people like on the video that we're watching. I'm like, yeah, because I don't know how to be fake. Like I couldn't be fake if I wanted to, so.
Well, my problem is that my videos are so short, and I talk about subjects that my actual the way my humor is doesn't come out at all.
Yeah,
I have dark humor. I look the same, like resting bitch face the whole time, but I joke around so much. I literally made videos of me and Cowboy upgrading the bike. We fucked up so much, or I did, that I didn't put it out. I mean, the video I ran out of battery. That's how we were like. Left and right. I actually have to take my bike to a professional to help us out, just because the bolts, it wasn't really us, but the Loctite, the bolts were busting off. And then even when we tried to extract it, the extractor kept breaking off. So I had extractors broken off into the bolts. And I should have used, what's that called?
Flamethrower.
Yeah, a little flamethrower. Heat up the freaking bolts, or that, what is that thing that, oh my God, I can't think about it. Fuck. That you just hit with a hammer and it twists the power like a driver. Yeah, just use the driver to loosen things up a little bit. But holy shit, it was a shit show. So that's why my upgrade took like over 3 weeks or so just to get done.
Yeah, how's that bike running now, man? All those upgrades,
dude, it runs fucking nice. Because my problem before, especially running with a big pack of people, and we're going over 100 miles per hour, like in a big suicide style down the road. and then we're still accelerate to go around traffic, and my bike was so delayed, and I was getting left behind for a little bit. Then I'll catch up. So now with 2-up, because we ride 2-up all the time. I mean, we accelerate, instant throttle response. It's breathing nicer. Of course, when you upgrade, you forget how fast your fuel gauge starts doing this. So
I remember
even though
days.
You have 100 miles, I'm good. And then I'm hauling ass, and I look, and it's already like fucking going empty on me.
Yeah,
so that's a big thing.
It's one thing I really like about the Challenger, man, because it hauls ass and it also gets good gas mileage. Like people are like, what are you getting, like 30, 35 miles per gallon? I'm like, no, I usually get 40 to 45, and I'm not easy on it. Like I'll redline it to 6,200 RPMs, a full tank, and I'll still get 200 miles, 220 miles, and put 5 gallons in. So that's one thing. Like I had a 96 cubic inch, and it was cammed out, and the gas mileage on that was awful. If I got into it, if I was cruising at 75, 80, like I could get 200 miles out of the tank. But no, if I was, getting it with the club and we were hauling ass, no, it was 150 miles. I'm like, I need gas now. Like we need to pull over. I'm going to die.
You're that guy. Yeah. No, because my bike, the Road Glide is 5.5 gallons, and out the box stock, I was doing about 43, 44 gallons, a mile, whatever. And but the Challenger itself, I almost bought the Challenger before I got the Road Glide, and just something didn't feel right for me. Like personally, like the bike was out the box specs way better than the Road Glide. I mean, specs beat almost every bike out the door when you look at the specs outside the box, coming out. Yeah. But just comfort wise, I just felt more comfortable on the Road Glide, and that's what made my decision. It was not about the specs, and I figured, well, at least Harley, I can upgrade it, but you're spending more money upgrading it. But it was just a comfort thing. But the Challenger is a badass bike. I mean, it's a really good bike. I don't know if you had any issues with it yet. So
I had a mean ass throttle lag, man. Like almost like where I was about to, like 6 months into it, almost got rid of it. Like I was like, and Lloyd's came out with a tune for it. And I told my wife, I was like, if this doesn't fix it, I'm going to ghost ride it right into the dealership's wall and just trade it in for a Road Glide, because I was that pissed about it. But no, Lloyd's had a tune for like $600, and it is awesome. It made the bike like everything it should have had. I mean, it feels like it still has that smooth throttle like you're supposed to have, and Redline goes to 6,200 now, and it hauls ass. Like I can actually, one of my buddies rides a Stage 1 Scout Bobber, and those things are fast as hell anyways, and I kept right up with them the whole time. We were, we ran it up to 120, and that's when his rev limiter cut in his speed limiter. And I was like, and I was right there with him. I'm like, so before he would just leave because his bike was that much faster. But that tune, the intake and exhaust is badass. But yeah, my buddy, he just cammed his 114, and he rides with us. So he's my road captain. But he came up over to the house after he cammed it, and he started it up, and it was like blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh man, I fucking missed that sound. I was like, that's what she was like. You're not trading your bike in just because the Harley sounds better.
It's a Harley sound. No, that's what bothered me with. I think Smitty said that. You said the same thing. The Challenger felt like it was a Goldwing, and the Road Glide had a baby. Yeah, and it's like a mix of both in regards. It's pretty quiet up front. It's a kind of plasticky look to a point, but it's very nimble. Very nimble. It's low center of gravity. Compared to the Road Glide is very high center of gravity. Like, it's heavy on top heavy. So that was what I noticed the most. But I mean, like I said, Challenger is a good bike that I heard. And
no, I'm super happy with it now. And like I said, the first time I threw a leg over it, and it was like one of those, I was like, holy shit, like that was not much effort to get the bike up off the kickstand. Like it felt a lot lighter than what it is. If you go and get on a new Goldwing like Smitty's, I feel like it's a scooter. Like you literally, like you can just like one hand it and throw it back. It sounds like a scooter. Yeah, well, yeah, it does. But
or is Smitty making the noises with his mouth? It probably doesn't make any sound.
He gets up next to the Harleys and he's like, "Listen to my bike," and he'll rev his engine when the Harleys rev theirs. He's like, "Sounds awesome." But no, that Goldwing it's super nice though. The paint and the it's because it's all blacked out. Like it's super quality, like compared to like the older ones that were like literally like tink tink plastic. Like the new ones, they have really done a nice job on those. So he made a good choice with that.
I was going to ask about in your club, is there a minimum requirement for bikes?
It has to be a cruiser style highway capable speeds. So yeah, it has to be able to keep up on highways. In Texas, that's 90. I just got a speeding ticket the other day going with traffic. So I'm still kind of pissed about that.
Yeah. And then is there a minimum CCs? I mean, usually at least over 650 CCs better be. Or gas tank. Do you have a minimum gas tank or?
No, that would be sprinkles would be out of the club if that was true.
All sprinkles.
So yeah,
Can you imagine?
3 gallon gas tank.
The P said this.
Yeah, you're not allowed to ride with us anymore. Yeah, but now her she gets like 50 miles per gallon no matter how fast we were riding. She always gets like 50. So like she'll go 140 miles on a tank before she gets gas, and she'll put in 2.8 gallons. So it's all right. By that time, we're ready to pull over for her, and for a lot of the people, they're like, yeah, we're ready. 140 miles, we'll pull over, get gas, and get something to drink.
Yeah, Cowboy, my boy. I'm one of those idiots that just wanted to get somewhere pretty quick and never stop. I'll stop for gas and I'll just go. I was used to just getting in and out. He's more about enjoy the journey, right? It's a journey, not the destination. The best trips is with your club or whoever you're riding with. The trip is the best part. Even if you break down the stories afterwards, I mean, it's always the trip is the best part. So he kind of taught me to kind of relax a little bit. So now I stop about 150 miles or something and hydrate and shit.
Yeah, so that was with me going from Tulsa to Houston all the time, and I'm like, man, I just want to get there. Like, I just want to get gas. I didn't even get off the bike. I would literally pull the gas pump up, get off I wouldn't even I wouldn't even get off. I would just put the gas pump up and go. And half the time I didn't stop for to even pee. But we went to the Tail of the Dragon last year. We rode from 2 years ago from Houston to that North Carolina, Tennessee area. And we have some people in the club that are like that. They will get off the bike and they'll take their helmet off and then they'll go inside to get a Snickers. And I'm I'm already fueled up, started the bike. I'm like, y'all ready? I'm like, wow, we haven't even got gas yet, man. I'm like, get the fuck ready. We're going. We got a time schedule. But
it's a little different too. I mean, for me, being in the type of MCs I was in the past and the groups, you don't want to stay in a gas station for that long. Normally you get in, get out before people say anything. It depends on the state you're in, the city you're in. Because next you know, you have other clubs coming at you. So, I mean, it was just more of a security thing for us. And I got used to that. So I didn't get off the bike to fuel up, fuel up with my helmet on and get the fuck out. It was one of the things I was used to. But I was going to say what Bree was saying is pretty. I think Smitty should do. They said to download the motorcycle sounds, probably of the Harley, so that he could play on his radio, and so it sounds like he's revving his bike.
Hell yeah.
That'd be pretty good. I don't know how you let the Goldwing in though. Shit. I know Smitty's that badass. That's the thing. Smitty's that badass. And we should do a meetup. I know I wanted to meet you guys since you're in Houston, and then. Also, Setzer Pendants. Is that the? I know. I always say. I wonder if I said it correct. He's not far from me at all. So I was chatting with him the other night. Anytime to go ride or something. But we should do a big meetup with all the Texas guys, the vloggers, and go riding.
No, we tried to do that, and it was all right. It went okay, but I think we learned from our mistakes, and we're going to make them better next time we do it. So it'll be
you guys have more experience about that part. My problem is I always saw people do meetups. I was always involved with the club stuff. Well, you know how that is when there's always an event on Saturday. There's always somewhere to go. So you don't have. I didn't have control too much on things, but now I have more control. So that's the good part of it.
No, a meetup would be cool for sure. But yeah, Seltzer Pendants, I was always going to make that joke about, you should go check out Seltzer Pendants, man. He's he just takes seltzers to the head and chugs them. And I was going to make a big joke about it. And so everyone was going to go to his channel and be like, where's this fucking chugging seltzers at? Why isn't there any slamming seltzers in his face?
I think that would be the best way if you want anyone to get views, is just put a fucked up topic, just talking shit like that. And everybody's going to go to his channel to look for some weird ass shit.
Yeah, and just get all the thumbs downs, which I've heard thumbs downs are just as good as thumbs ups. It's engagement or whatever. So I embrace all the thumbs downs, because every one of my videos, for some reason, I'll upload one, thumbs down, 5 minutes later, I'm like, there's my hater.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a title Wild on Twos slams Smitty's bike to the ground. And then literally it's a video of me kicking a little toy bike or something. Like when they actually watch the video, it's like something, and have Smitty all pissed off at me.
Yeah. It'd be a prelude to his intro.
Yeah.
Wow, you smashed my bike.
Yeah, watch him do that. He's the king of intro.
Yeah, man, that's what everyone's been hitting us up, and I was like, I got all these ideas now, and he's like, I have so many ideas, and they're not from my head. So I think he's like, I'd like to do my own ideas, but I was like, I still think we should do some of them because they were pretty catchy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there's anyone in the comment section, I know we've been just a little under an hour, just about close to an hour, because we started a little late, obviously, because my Wi-Fi sucked ass. If there's any questions for anybody in the comment section, I know it's mostly all the guys and people that we know on there, but you just never know. Was it some guys like road trip number 3, which with Hell's crew he's in. Yeah, so I mean, man, I need to start taking bigger trips, because I used to ride all the time across state lines for other things. So now I have to now I have more time, so I want to take more trips. And my old lady was riding. The comment you made about the women in Texas, she texted me that she says, because Texas, Texas are something. Let me see why. She said, because Texas has badass bitches. That's exactly what she said. Yeah, my girl, she'd rather ride a motorcycle than a car. Like if I even give her a choice, she's always going to pick the bike. Always. Yeah. And trust me, even if we're going to a nice event and she has to wear a dress, she'll fucking rock the dress on the bike.
It's like looking into the handle seat.
Oh yeah, no. Just, of course, she loves the bike. The Road Glider with the Limited is a beautiful little area to sit in the back. So she's so comfortable. She falls asleep back there. I can. Her helmet just hitting the back of my head. So like bobbing for apples back there.
Hell yeah. Now I've actually thought about putting a trunk on my Challenger, because I had that Ultra Classic. I've had 2 Ultra Classics, and they both had the trunks. And man, if you haven't had a bike with a trunk, you don't know what you're missing, because those things are like, you can just open it up, throw shit in there. But yeah, everything with the COVID shit is back ordered, and like they're like, we don't know when we're going to get a trunk in for that. So I've been looking at it for like 6 months.
Yeah, trunk is a game changer, man. Ever since I got the bike, it's like, why didn't I get this bike a long time ago? And I had the Indian Dark Horse, Chief Dark Horse. I just had my saddlebag that I bought that I added onto it. But the trunk, I mean, you can put 2 helmets. I mean, I got pictures of some beer runs on that road glide. I got to black out some cuts and stuff like that. But I mean, we stacked up over, I don't know how many freaking 24, cans of Budweiser. I mean, all over the bike, inside the trunk, everywhere, wrapped around, and make a nice run for it. But that trunk is a lifesaver in general.
Yeah, it's always good to have when you're prospecting too, because you always got to carry everyone's shit.
Oh my god, you got the prospect kit is ridiculous. People are starting wearing. I'm not gonna say the guy's name. Fanny packs everywhere.
Oh, dude, can't do it. We have
well, at least you can look cool with like EMT, probably like the little looks like the fanny packs, but EMT style, like more triage.
Yeah, they got those front vests that like fold down, like you can actually have. Like, so I used to have one when I worked in Life Flight, so I could be sitting in the seat, like unbuckled, and it would just fold out like a laptop. It was almost like a laptop bag, but it had like everything. It had syringes, it had my trauma shears, it had anything to do with surgical airway was all like right there. So I didn't have to go searching through any. Everyone was like, dude, you're just like Captain Gadget. And I was like, no, I just want to be ready when someone, shits the bed and I have to, save their freaking life. I have everything right there. I don't have to go digging through this 60-pound bag where the thing's on the very bottom of it. So no, that's actually a pretty good idea. But
yeah, I mean, being in healthcare too, I would think that you guys would be more prepared than most MCs, because I myself, being healthcare, my girl was in healthcare. She actually made my kit. I had a trauma kit. She added tons of shit in, which actually came into. I was at an event and some guy laid it down, and she had all just road rash everywhere. And I had everything known to man for road rash, and I looked like MacGyver putting all this stuff on. And people bandages. To this day, that guy's reaching out to me because we took care of him for the whole weekend, and I had everything I needed. But as a club like yours, I would think that you guys can set a standards. Most people have first aid kits, and that's it.
Yeah,
they don't have a real trauma kit, Israeli tourniquets, or anything. So
yeah, cat tourniquets and stuff. Yeah, we got it all, man. Actually, it was funny. Me and the wife were at a biker bar, and we were inside. We had just gotten there, and the way the doors opened up, like the doors went like right in between me and her. And this lady like kicks, like it was like Kool-Aid Man, boom, oh yeah. Like she like busted in. I was like, everyone was like, what the fuck's going on? She was like, we need a nurse. Anybody, is there a nurse? And I was like, why is she yelling for a nurse? I'm like, this is kind of weird. I'm like in my EMS cut.
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit. Yeah, someone was having a heart attack. They had already called 911. I'm like, well, they're breathing and they don't have any signs of decompensation. So, but yeah, it's we've actually been in a couple situations where we've needed to we can't practice medicine, but we could, we have a little bit more insight and ability to assess and triage, and that's what everyone likes, riding with somebody that can save your ass. So I think that's another thing that we get a little pass on with a lot of the big clubs, especially when we show up to like the big club events. They're like, oh fuck man, you guys are EMS, like hell yeah, come on and have a beer and hang out with us. And because they know like we all work, paramedics, and like a lot of us are paramedics and nurses. So
you'd be surprised how many clubs don't have. Maybe one guy might have a trauma kit.
Yeah.
And that's probably the odds that guy is going to be in the accident. His shit's going to be tossed everywhere and no one else has anything.
Bike goes off the cliff. He goes
off the cliff, shit like that. So I think almost everybody should have a good number of people in the club. And I think most people should be trained in MCs for situations like that. I think, what is it? Dan Fireman. Yeah. He had a good, I used to watch him. I don't watch him much anymore just because he got really big and stuff. But when he first started off, he did a lot more stuff about traumas and safety stuff. And it was really neat.
Yeah. I've watched his old stuff, but it's surprising. That was one of the things that I was like, I could provide for the MC community that, could help out with relations. And, cause we have, I'm an instructor, like I'm a pre-hospital trauma life-saving instructor, BLS, ACLS, TNCC. I teach all those, I have those credentials, and I've like reached out to clubs. I was like, hey, if you guys ever want like a basic CPR, like, just to be able to save your dude's life if he goes down with a C1 fracture or anything like that, like anything that helps save, anybody. Most of them are like, no, we're good. Like
a lot of people say that cause you get a lot of ex-military and they think that they can take care of something because they're ex-military and they got trained some 20 years ago. And I mean, if I get a gunshot, put a tampon in it. That one of those deals. But yeah, so a lot of people think they can until shit hits the fan, just like anything else. Even in clubs, it's like they said, until you get punched in the teeth is when you really know how you're going to react.
Yeah.
And of course, like us, like I'm in the surgeries and all this stuff all the time. I see, codes all the time, run codes. And I'm very patient, laid back. The way you see me talk and looking, I am during a crisis. Yeah. And some people think I don't give a shit. They're like, this guy looks like, I'm just, if you freak out, everybody else is going to freak out.
Yeah. So that was actually my first 6 months in nursing. My first 6 months, I got an eval, and my preceptor was like, I don't know if this guy doesn't give a shit about humans, or if he just like doesn't, he's like, he always knows what he's doing, but he just like doesn't have an effect. Like he's just like straight faced like the whole time and just never raises his voice. And he's a new nurse. This isn't normal. And I'm like, well, it's like a duck on water, man. I'm like calm right here, but like underneath the water, my freaking feet are kicking a million miles. I'm like, what am I going to do next? What is my next step? But like you said, I think with my military experience and like just being more, exposed to stuff like that at a younger age. And my first eval was like, I don't think he likes people because, people crash all the time and he just like doesn't seem like he cares. I'm like, no, dude, you have to be level headed. And so that was one of my biggest attributes is like just stay calm. And like Mike Tyson said, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
And it's so true, man. You see that people freak out, but actually, when I had my preceptor, they actually had to sit down with administrators, and they thought I didn't care. Like, okay, patient passed away. I was like, okay, next, and I continue working. And they wondered if I actually had like sympathy, feeling. It looked like it sounds almost like you didn't care. Not sounds, but look, just because my reaction wasn't like upset or anything. And I was like, no, it sucked. And to this day, I still think about it. Yeah. But I'm not going to be there like, because just like let's say I don't know if your dad's still alive or not, but if you're a dad or a relative or someone actually codes in front of you, your reaction is going to be totally different than if it's someone that you don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And people don't understand. They think, I see many doctors and nurses that their relatives are dying in front of them and they don't know what to do until they kind of snap out of it. Then they kind of just start, but they panic more.
Yeah.
Because emotion. Emotion. Same thing with at a motorcycle club. that's why a lot of people have to be trained, because you never know how that one person that is trained will react when your wife goes down or something. Someone might have to like help you out a little bit to kind of get your head going.
That's a good night though. If wife goes down. Oh,
you know what that means, right?
Big eye roll.
Hey, that's a 2-for. You got a new wife and a bike. Fuck yeah.
She just gave me a big eye roll.
Oh, I know. Then she's gonna tell me one day if I do meet her, oh, you made that fucking comment. I'll probably get something with my girl's probably gonna say something to me about that comment. So yeah, I mean, if there's anything like I said, we can call it now. It's been an hour or so like that. Anything you want to add? So the guys watching or anyone that is not subscribed to Salty and Sprinkles, go to his channel. Let me see if I can do this. Let's share screen. I just want to share. Click on that and share your channel.
I appreciate that.
Here's your channel, Salty and Sprinkles. Do you see it on your end?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So this is your channel up here. What was your best video you said?
My second video, I mean, for views, was my second video that I ever did. I think it's up to like 22,000 views.
Oh, okay, shit.
But I mean, it wasn't my favorite video.
Well, trust me, I got 300 and something thousand views on a video that I didn't trust me. It was just I didn't expect that. And I don't like it either. And it has 300 something thousand views. Yeah. Other than that, now I get like one view. Yeah, no. So I mean, if people want to check out your channel, go to Salty and Sprinkles, subscribe to him and his wife. You know, they do all different things. So it's not just one thing. So let me click on actually your channel rather than the.
Oh yeah, I got that auto.
Did you pick to put that video there, or?
Yeah, it was one of the options. It said for engagement and stuff. But
yeah, you can get the option. So I mean, you picked that one. See, I was scrolling.
What is going on?
You can pause that because that's loud.
Yeah, I gotta pause that. Yeah, no, it was funny. I was scrolling to the homepage of not even your page. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah, so this is your page. I go, that's not Salty and Sprinkles. So yeah, here's your. Let me go to videos. Yeah, you're 1.82, getting close to 2,000.
Yeah. So that's what I was like, man, my goal, I was like, after I started getting subscribers, I was like, that'd be super cool to get 1K in a year because I heard it's pretty good. And my 2 years is up November 2nd. So I'm like, that'd be even sweeter to get 2K by.
No, that'd be perfect.
My 1 year is up at November 2nd. Yeah. My favorite videos that I do are the ones where we go on the road trips. Like
those are always fun.
Yeah. But like we had one where like the one dude that rides the Harley, he had a big old blowout and like he had some issues with his bike, and we were stuck on the side of the road on one of the Twisted Sisters. I'm trying to think what road it is, but like we were on our last stop. They're like, dude, the next part we're going through is like the most curvy, most extreme part of it wasn't even part of the Sisters. It was I can't even remember, but he blows out right before that. And it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. And like, it took like 4 hours to get a tow truck. So it's like pitch black by the time the tow truck gets there. And we're riding back, and it's me and my sergeant at arms, and it is pitch black and there's deer everywhere. And I'm like, this is the freaking part of the road where they said it was the most extreme, torturous. We're trying to get back, and it's freezing, and it's like, we were like, what in the hell is going on? And the dude that blew his bike out is in the tow truck, and we're like, we stuck with him. We weren't going to leave him on the side of the road. But yeah, that's like the experiences. We look back now, and I'm like, dude, I was pretty livid at the time, and I was pretty like freaked out because my wife, it was like one of the first times, my wife actually rode by herself. She was with my VP, but they rode back to the house to get a car to meet us at one of the shops that they were going to get towed to. So I'm on the side of the road. The tow truck driver pulls up and was like, sorry we were so late. There was a motorcycle crash about 20 miles up the road. And I was like, what in the are you talking about, man? I hadn't been able to get a hold of her in like 2 hours. Man, like it was like, looking back now, I'm like, man, that was like one of the best trips we've taken in a long time. But at the time I was like, this sucks. I want to go home, and damn you for not checking your tires before we rode.
Yeah, but it's like anything. When I played baseball in the minors and stuff, and I hated the road trips. After a while, the bus smelled like fucking shit. I after a while I got tired of it. It was all the same thing. And then now I look back and I go, man, there were some awesome times, and I miss it, and I wish I can go back, for certain time periods. And it goes same thing with the trips, like you said. Sometimes the worst trip, which I freaking want it over, actually becomes one of my favorite trips about everything you go through. So,
yep. No, it's the same way with the military, man. Like I wouldn't want to go back and do it again, but like some of the memories and some of the friends that I made and some of the stuff that I was, in and like some of the situations, it made me grow as a man. And like I said, when I was 18, I didn't know what the frick I was going to do with my life. And the military really, really helped me out as far as what I wanted and what I didn't want and what I knew I had to do in my life to make myself fulfilled. And like I said, and this is one of the things, this motorcycle club that we're doing is the continuation of my work that I was doing then too. So.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, having a motorcycle club that actually has meaning to it. That
Yeah.
Hey, we're not just going to the bar. We're not just, fucking around with prospects. I mean, this is actually, you have more to it than that. It's actually a family. You have a purpose for it. And that's what I think people should start look. Everybody looks at these big name clubs, right? They look at these big name clubs, and even healthcare guys do, and women. I'll say women, just throw it in there, but guys mostly. Look at these big name clubs, and they're not gonna fit in well. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not gonna fit in well. And there's so many clubs, thousands of clubs that someone can belong to, like your club or something that might be the next best family, best thing they'll do.
Yeah.
And might help them out with a lot of stuff. So, all right, man. Like I said, we can probably keep talking and stuff because it usually gets better toward the end.
Yeah. No, that's I always tell people, I always ask them, like, why do you want to join one of those, the big four? Why do you want to join one of the old OG? Like, what's the reasoning behind it? And like I said, and all of these people that are like making their own clubs now, like they're just going ahead and putting the Texas rocker on, and the excuses that they're giving people, they're like, oh yeah, they're worried about more bigger things than that. They don't care if you wear the Texas rocker. I'm like, that's disrespectful. And but those people, like, they're not making clubs that are purposeful. They don't have good mission statements. They don't have anything to like. They just want to put patches on and ride to the bar and like act like badasses.
Yeah, they copy the logo of online patch maker. They just get their patches from online. It would be cool if you can kind of design your own patches or something, have a mission statement, have a purpose, but they don't. Like you said, they don't. And that's what muddy the water, and it waters down, I think, the set itself. And it could give a bad name to the overall existence of other clubs that have been established, or even if they're new clubs, but there's some new clubs that are actually doing things the right way. Yeah. And working hard. And then people are going to look at them like, oh, a pop-up club, or the term pop-up club, right?
Yeah.
But every club was a pop-up club at a certain point.
Right.
But they put their blood, sweat, and tears into it and built respect over time. Some people built fear, but respect. Like you said, so many guys that I know, and there's opportunities for people to go in big clubs that either they wanted to, or not. There's people that could have gone to any club they wanted to, and they just said, no, I decided to go to this club. Yeah. And it's probably like something that most people say, why? But that's their purpose and their reason. So,
yeah. No, the mission statement's the big thing for me as far as these new clubs that are coming out. And I'm like, I think 4 for the Road. Do you ever watch that or listen or watch, or like, is it 4 for the Road?
They have a Facebook page. Yeah.
I think that was when I read something. The color wheels, the rainbow's full. Like, pick a color, but the rainbow's full. Like, our chapter, our club hasn't been around for that long. In the mid 2000s is when it was established. But like I said, I'm all about the mission statement, the purpose, and what we're doing as far as the work and the good stuff that's coming out of it. So that's what I want to focus on as far as that.
Well, and you have a strong chapter, right? Because a nation itself is different, but if there's a strong chapter and you can set an example and build a respect to in a big city that you're in, it goes a long way. And even if some other chapters, let's say, people don't respect, but people get, people can vouch for you guys over time, and you can, help out the name of the club, and people won't care about the club. Like I said, of course, there's always politics in everything we do. Yeah. But I respect guarding the children. So many clubs that have so much purpose. And that's where I find myself all the time. I'm always like, I want more purpose because of the type of background we have and what we see all the time. So purpose is a huge thing. And even for the independents, the majority of people riding bikes are independents. And a lot of people give too much credit to motorcycle clubs in general about respect, but everybody should respect everybody. But also independents play a big part in the bike community. So.
Yeah, any event you go to, it's 90%, 95% independence, and you get the sporadic clubs, unless it's like a big club function where you got a big nation coming together. But yeah, most of those poker runs and the people that supported, we had a handful, it was half and half clubs versus independents. So yeah, we wouldn't have been able to donate that dog this year if it wasn't for the independents at all, 0%. So yeah, everyone, if they're showing up and they're participating, they deserve respect just like everybody else.
Yeah, no, exactly. Even as as a prospect, hang around for a club, I still, if I see an independent, I'll still, even though you don't greet them exactly the same, still gonna greet them with respect.
Yeah.
Just like if they're another club member or something, just because you never know, never know who that person is.
Yep.
So, all right, man. But I was gonna say, I know Bree the Biker's on the comment section. He's gonna be on with me and Insane Throttle for the pregame this Sunday, and I think it was 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll double check. Then it's gonna be the roundtable with you at 7 p.m. right Central? Yeah, Central, 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you guys are going to check that out, we'll put links out in our pages. I think they're going to do a thumbnail. Should do a thumbnail. I know I'm going to do one. I'm working on one. I'm going to put out tomorrow for Bree and I and Insane Throttle Hollywood. So go check out Saltine Sprinkles. Any last words?
No, man. Just I always say that at the very end: be safe, be classy, ride your shit. It's the biggest thing, man.
All right, and then I always say, till next week. Much love and respect. Peace.
Peace.
Let's see my delay of end of